And one of the issues that is particularly live at the moment is the whole discussion taking place about Article 8 and the ECHR and how that kind of debate is being taken on within the government, and when can we see any results emanating from it?
Yes. And I want to do that, if I may, in the context in which it is currently arising, which is in the context of immigration and asylum, and not least in respect to the small boat crossings. This government has made absolutely plain that it is our priority to address it. And as the previous Lord Chancellor, now Home Secretary, made plain before you, we will leave no stone unturned in trying to protect this country's interests and dealing with what we inherited in respect of an immigration and asylum system that in large measures was broken, and with addressing the issue, the pressing issue of the small boats crossings. Now, there's been a lot of discussion about Article 8, and the previous Home Secretary announced a review into Article 8, and I don't want to preempt anything that review might come out with. The Prime Minister has, though, been absolutely crystal clear that we will not be leaving the European Convention on Human Rights. Now, there are a number of reasons for that. But at the heart of it is because it would be completely contrary to the national interest of this country were we to do so. And can I give you an example in this very context of asylum and immigration and small boat crossings? The phenomena that we are facing of irregular migration is not one unique to this country. It is one shared by many countries across the continent and indeed the world. And the solutions to the problem will not be met simply domestically in splendid isolation to our allies. In order to address it, we need to cooperate with our friends and partners in Europe. We are only going to be able to do that within the asylum and immigration context if we are compliant with the European Convention on Human Rights. That's not just rhetoric. Here's the evidence. Since we came into power and the Prime Minister made very plain our commitment to the European Convention, we have reached agreements that have real practical impact and will increasingly have real practical impact in addressing small boat crossings in particular. I'm just giving this as an example. We've entered 2 agreements with France. One to deal with boats in shallow French territorial waters. One, the recent announcement of on the one in, one out that we think will have, when it's up and running, a real deterrent effect. Germany has agreed to amend its own domestic law to deal with the problem of the transport of boat materials through Germany to the beaches on France. Now, it is inconceivable that our partners would have entered into those agreements if we were not members of the Council of Europe, if we were not signed up to the European Convention on Human Rights. We are back, and it is having practical impact. To leave, as some people are now advocating, to leave would be entirely counterproductive if what we are seeking is not rhetorical answers, but real practical answers. If we leave, those deals go. No one's going to enter agreements to us if we're not complying with the same standards across the immigration and asylum system. It would be contrary to the national interest.